Today I'll be sharing with you how you can apply brain science to become happier and more successful. First, what could happiness and success look like? You will have your own definition. And from 20 years of coaching experience, I've compiled the following list of possible attributes. 1. Work-life and family balance. 2. Reducing stress, greater peace of mind and security. 3. Clarity in direction. 4. Results. 5. Freedom, the experience of choice. 6. Effective and fulfilling relationships. 7. Good health. 8. An inner confidence. 9. Fully expressed leadership. 10. Having highly focused and great teams. Training your team in these distinctions multiplies the effects of success and happiness. 11. Being present, aware, and alert. 12. Being spontaneous. 13. Learning, growing, and innovating. It is vital to be clear that all of these ways have to be done in conjunction in order to be effective. Now I'll list at least 7 ways that you can apply brain science to become happier and more successful. Number 1. Training in reducing distractions. When you reduce distractions, you focus on what is most important and you focus less on what is not important. Doing this reduces the stress on the prefrontal cortex part of the brain, which again is responsible for most day-to-day work and activity. In 1908, 2 scientists called Yerkes and Dodson discovered the relationship between challenge, complexity level, and performance. Notice from the graph, as challenge goes up, on the x-axis, performance initially goes up and then goes down, leaving an optimum performance point at the top of the curve. Most business people operate at high levels of challenge or complexity at the right-hand side of the curve, where performance is down. And a lot of these challenges or complexities are due to unnecessary distractions. Reducing distractions results in a reduction in challenge and complexity faced by the prefrontal cortex, leading to optimal performance. Optimal performance in turn leads to clarity in direction, an increase in results, a reduction in stress, an increase in peace of mind and security. At the same time, if you train yourself as a leader in this way, you're able to influence and train your teams to be highly focused themselves. Number 2, training in creating high profit centers. High profit centers are activities that yield the greatest returns of money and satisfaction based on your risk and investment of time, money, energy, and brain resources. Your prefrontal cortex, part of your brain, is highly energy inefficient. It requires a lot of energy to function. For this reason alone, you must focus on high profit activities. With higher results, the other thing that happens is that the dopamine levels in your brain will increase. Dopamine is a biological chemical that's in your brain that, apart from many other functions, helps your brain signals fire correctly. With this better brain functioning comes clarity in direction, which in turn results in a decrease of stress, an increase of peace of mind, and an increase of security. With this clarity of direction also comes enhanced leadership skills on your part, which helps you better direct your high-focused teams. By focusing on high-profit centers, you will build your inner confidence, as well as spend less time at work, increasing your work-life family balance. With less time on work, you can start focusing on learning, growing, and innovating. Number 3, training in limiting and managing outcomes per day. The prefrontal cortex is energy inefficient. It takes up about 20% of your caloric input on an average day. It is also responsible for predicting the future, understanding, deciding, storing and recalling memories, as well as self-control. Every act of deciding and self-control results in a reduction of the glucose in your blood, as well as the resources that your brain can use for activities. Most people work on the basis of doing tasks every day, and it's often very difficult for them to see how their day-to-day tasks are adding up to their ultimately desired goals. Moving from tasks to outcome-based thinking results in a reduction in complexity. And this reduction in complexity in managing your day-to-day tasks results in a reduction in the stress on your prefrontal cortex. It also results in an increase in your chances of your expectations or goals being met. And when your expectations or goals are met, it's shown in the laboratory that your dopamine levels in your brain goes up. And dopamine is a biological chemical in your brain that enables you to feel better and more motivated. With the reduction in complexity, you also see an increase in results, a reduction in stress, an increase in your peace of mind, an increase in security and being present. The other thing that a reduction in complexity does is that it reduces the limbic system response. The limbic system is responsible for emotional and fear reactions, as well as reducing stress in your prefrontal cortex. This reduction in the limbic system response, as well as reduced stress on your prefrontal cortex, results in your creative functions of your brain going up. When your creative functions in your brain go up, this leads to an increase in your ability to lead. And when you can lead effectively and train your high focus teams effectively to do the same, you have a multiplying of the effects. The other side effect of increasing your creative functions is that you'll have an increase in spontaneity, while at the same time having the feelings of safety and security. Number 4, training in slow build. When Warren Buffett was 9 years old, he loved rolling snowballs. He'd start with really small flakes. He'd scoop them up and he'd pack them into a ball. The ball would start rolling, and then he'd give it a push and would pick up more snow. By the time he reached the edge of his yard, he had a pretty big snowball. It was said that at that point, he cast his eye on a whole world full of snow, and he kept pushing and rolling his snowball. You can liken the snowball to an accumulation of skills, reliabilities, and competencies that you need in business. From a brain science perspective, that accumulation of skills, reliabilities, and competencies comes out of a constant firing of the brain circuits responsible for those skills. Examples: sales, marketing, financial management, etc., etc. To do this, you need daily practice with a slow, deep build to ensure your brain nerve cells fire in the right sequence and at the right times and at the right strengths. This practice must be done consistently to ensure the building of these new circuits. Training in slow build creates sustainable results with a reduction in stress and an increase in your inner confidence.